Yo, what's up guys, it's me Jake here, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 new gens. Now what do I consider a new gen for this video? It's everything from 2015 onwards, so nothing from before 2015, so Haikyuu, My Hero Academia just get thrown out the window. We're not going to talk about them. Stuff like that, I'm not going to talk about. Those are just two examples. I don't think either of them actually make this top 10 for me, but I'm not talking about that. But to start off this video, I also want to say Black Clover will not be included because I want to give more light to a lot of other series that I wouldn't really usually talk about, and I talk about Black Clover a lot on this channel, so I thought that if you guys know me or have watched my videos for a little bit, you know Black Clover will be number 1 on this list, but I just wanted to give you that heads up in case you guys were confused on why it's not number 1. So yeah, let's get straight into my number 10. Now this number 10 I have made a video on, but I would say I don't think a lot of you guys would expect this over another series that I also made a video on. That's Boys Abyss. Now, if you don't know, I love Boys Abyss. I think it's a really interesting series, and I will say it does have a Shuzo Oshimi vibe at some points, but I'm going to also put in this. I know a lot of people would probably expect me to put Jujiki no Rokunin on this list instead of this one, but the reason I put this instead of Rokunin is Rokunin has taken a route I haven't really liked in the past 20 chapters. Yes, it's still been decent, but it has done a lot of things I really just don't like. Well, this, yes, it did have a couple of like flat chapters of world building and kind of character development. I think that it really excelled straight after that, and it really hasn't done the same for Roken. And we've gotten that character development, but it's kind of still stayed at that stagnation. And I think that this will excel more in the future, and I'll just enjoy reading it more. Yes, I have not read the most recent couple chapters, but Boys Abyss, very entertaining. I very much enjoyed it. If you're into like a Shuzo Oshimi vibe series, this is just your cup of tea. The art's amazing. I really like the character development and how messed up it can get. Yes, I know Jujiki no Rokunin gets messed up. I mean, psychologically in this series, Jujiki no Rokunin, Jesus. They just get mangled. Like, it's not even funny. They just get, like, torn apart. So, I mean, that's just a different kind of messed up. That's just different ways of torturing people 101. This is very different. So, I very much enjoy this, and I highly suggest this if you have yet to read Boys Abyss. I don't know if it'll ever get an anime. It's one of those ones that I don't think ever will, and I hope it gets an English release, but it's Jump, and I don't see Viz ever printing this, so I don't have hopes. Now, the next thing I'm going to be recommending, and my number 9, is something that I don't see a lot of people talking about, and I very much love it. Recently, it's been so good. There's just been one pitfall, and that's the release schedules, and that's going to be The Dangers in My Heart. The release schedule problem is because we had to wait 6 months for Volume 3. Volume 4, sorry, Volume 4. We got Volume 3 in September, and we literally just got Volume 4 like a couple weeks ago. And then now we have to wait till October again to get Volume 5. Now, that's my only pitfall for this series. Otherwise, I say instantly cop this one. It is a very wholesome rom-com done very differently than a lot of them. Yes, it is a little bit repetitive at the start, but it does break away from that repetitiveness quite quickly, and I will say it is a very entertaining read and a very fun one at that. Very good characters. I really like the main character, and I really like his dynamic with Yamada, the main girl, and I really like how they're very different. It's kind of like a Short King series, so if you like your Short Kings, boys, or if you are a Short King, this one's for you. My man is definitely shorter than Yamada, and it's not even close. But yeah, it's very entertaining, and if you want a size, yeah, that's it. But very entertaining, very wholesome, and I very much enjoy Dangers in My Heart. Easily a very highly rated one. I would say probably an 8.8 to 9. So everything on here is at least an 8.8, by the way. Like, I think Boys Abyss is around that too, but I think this is just edges it. So yeah, that's my rating for this. I think it's really good. Very much highly suggest it. And if you're into rom-coms, definitely pick up Dangers in My Heart. Now, at number 8, we have one that everyone probably expects, and that's going to be Chainsaw Man. I love Chainsaw Man. I love Tatsuki Fujimoto's writing. Cannot wait for part 2. I hear it's in the production stage, as they say, and on Twitter I heard that, and I am very excited. And when I say very excited, I'm ecstatic to see what happens in the next part of Chainsaw Man, but I just think that all the other series ahead of it, I think, are amazing, and this definitely has pitfalls at times. It's definitely not the most perfect masterpiece ever. It is definitely an evolution for Jump. I think this being inside the Shonen Jump magazine is definitely a right step forward, as it brings a lot of those more darker, grittier series up to light and shows the kind of how good they can actually be, and I really enjoy when they do that, and I think this very much evolved what the shonen landscape kind of is. Now, I'm not going to say, oh my god, Chainsaw Man changed the world of manga. It's not like that, but it definitely brought to light a lot of things that a lot of shonen series didn't really ever touch on or even grasp. And I think this was definitely very entertaining read. Very much highly recommended. I think the start was kind of slow, the first volume, until they got into the Infinity Hotel or whatever, I forgot what it was called. That's when it really picked up for me, and the comedy was really good, and I really liked the characters. And the development we get from Denji is amazing, so I cannot wait to see what happens in part 2, and hopefully that development stays. But yeah, very much enjoy Chainsaw Man, easily a 9, love this series, and I highly recommend it like everyone else does. This next one is going to be one that you probably all expected from me. The only reason it's not higher is just because the series in front of it are just that good. This is getting an English release, and that's going to be Kimono Jihan. I do have a lot of the Japanese physicals. I have 1 through 14, but ever since they announced English physicals, I did not get 15 or 16. I think 16's out. I could be wrong. But yes, I cannot wait to get these English physicals. If you have yet to read this, the art is fantastic, and the anime did change a couple things, so I'll definitely say read it, but I'm going to say that the anime is still a good adaptation otherwise. The things they changed were very minute, like it doesn't really matter too much, but yeah, Kimono Jihan, it's amazing. I hope they keep this cover scheme with the hiragana, katakana, and all that on the cover. It looks really amazing. I love the look of this cover, and I know the the German cover is very, very different from this. The Japanese cover is, of course, this, but the German cover, they take away all the kanji and katakana. They only have kabane in there and a white background with kimono friends or whatever. I forgot what it said. Or monster detective or something like that. I forgot what they put the name as for German, but yeah, very much not like that cover, but I hope we keep this kind of cover scheme because I really like it, and I have high hopes because 7 Seas picked it up, and 7 Seas usually do a good job with the covers. So love, love, love Kimono Jihan, one of my all-time favorites. It's really good. Definitely highly suggest this one a lot more than a lot of the other ones. I think this is a very good battle shonen kind of series, and I love the main character of Kabane. Yes, he's one of those emotionless main characters, but there's a reasoning behind it, and seeing him try to develop emotion is just so entertaining for me, and I really love his development. I love Kabane, I love Shiki, and I love Akira. I love the whole main cast. It's just so good, and I highly suggest Kimono Jihan. Now, one that is getting a anime soon, actually. This already has quite a few English physicals, and that's going to be Call of the Night. This is a phenomenal read. It's a rom-com, and yes, it is a vampire series, but it's a very, very different one. This is written by the author of Dagashi Kashi, if you know Dagashi Kashi. If you have to read it or watch it, I have it in my planning on AniList, which, if you're not following me on AniList, my AniList is in the description below if you want to see it. See what I'm reading, see what I'm watching, but Call of the Night, phenomenal so far. I really enjoy it. I have yet to read 6 and 7. I said I was gonna. I'm going to soon. I've just been on a huge novel binge as of late, so I haven't been able to. But, well, I have been able to, but I've just been reading novels instead. But that's off the point. This is really phenomenal. Really like this. This is an easy, like, 9.2, 9.3 for me. I love it. Every volume just makes it better and better. I really like the main character of Koyamori. He is very different from a lot of these rom-com pro tags, and him having insomnia is a very big thing that makes the series so different because it makes it so everything's at night, and seeing the nightlife of this world is just so entertaining because it's just kind of barren, and seeing a barren city is kind of interesting and kind of a different landscape for a rom-com, and I really like how they do that. Yes, it's a rom-com, but it's also kind of like a mystery as well, I guess, but it's a weird kind of genre. I don't know what I would fit this in fully, but it is amazing, and I very much highly recommend Call of the Night. This is my number 6, I believe. Yeah, my number 6. Not going to mess it up this time, say 7, but amazing. Very much highly suggest this if you're into a rom-com or just want something super unique. Call of the Night's the thing. Now, we're getting into the top 5. Now, this one has probably the highest peaks out of everything left, other than one. This literally has, I already spoiled it by doing that. This already has the highest peaks out of everything left, other than my number 1, so that's gonna be Tokyo Avengers. The only reason I'm dropping it this low is because I hated the start of the recent arc. I don't know if it was because I was reading it weekly and binging the series is so much better, or if it was really just that much of a quality drop, but it was amazing. First, like, 200 chapters, perfection. I literally loved every single one, but the most recent arc has just been so meh. But I'm gonna say this right now, I'm still gonna rate this like a 9, even if it has this kind of bad arc, because of the church arc, because of the Tenjiku arc, because of Bloody Halloween. All of that were legitimately 10s. I'm gonna say that right now. Those arcs were phenomenal. I love the church arc. I love Tenjiku. Every arc got better and better and better until the most recent one. And I love the build-up. I love Takamichi's character, and I really loved Tomen. It really felt like a different kind of breath of fresh air in this kind of genre for me. I never really read delinquent manga, and this was such a big one that I just loved. I loved getting into this, and it kind of made me want to read more like Crows and all that. And then I heard that just people are in the like delinquent manga community just were hating on Tokyo Avengers because it got popular. So I'm not going to talk about too much, but Tokyo Avengers, amazing. I love the art style. I love how he got like an art change a little bit later on. Like I would say around volume like 4 or 5 of this, he had like a little bit of a change in art style, but it's of course still like the same, but it's not as wonky at times. And I really like that, and I very much love Tokyo Avengers. I really like the characters, and I've already talked about this so much, so I'm not going to talk about it too much more, but this is probably near top 10 for me at this point because it did drop. I did say this was around top 5 for me at one point, but of course the most recent arc kind of dropped a bit, so kind of sad to say that, but yeah. Tokyo Avengers, very good, and highly recommend it. Now this next one ain't recency bias because I read it like 2 months ago, so I wouldn't say that's recency bias for me. That's just because this is just that good, and no one ever gave it that shot. Number 4 is Orient by Shinobu Otaka. Now, if you don't know anything, this is peak. This is amazing. This volume 4 was one of the best shonen volumes I've read, and I'm being honest here. If I'm saying any volume peak, this has the second best volume peak out of everything. Yes, Tokyo Avengers had the arc peak, where the whole arc was like that, but volume 4 for the series, the backstory on Musashi was so good. I did not expect it. I loved it. It was amazing. I love seeing why Musashi's like this, and seeing the world develop the way it is. Orient is so good. You gotta check it out. I'm being so honest here. Everyone gave it a 1 volume, like, drop it. It's terrible. Don't let this corrupt your view on Magi. It's nothing like this. Magi's nothing like this. It's so much better. Don't read this. What are you on? Read more. Read more. It's so good. I love Orient's power system with the kind of crystals and all that stuff and all that jazz. This was just such a phenomenal read. The most recent arc that we're in, the Ishiwaji Island, I can never say it, so I'm just going to say it like that. Oh my god, it's so good. Every time you think you grasp the power system, you don't know anything about it. It is so crazy. It's just such a great evolution. It's not like it's confusing. It's just building upon this power system a lot, and I love how they're doing it. They just do it and do it and do it so well in such an orderly fashion that's so good that I just have to say Orient is easily in the top 4 of this. It's not in the top 3 because the top 3 are very hard to break into at this point, but Orient is amazing. I've talked about it too much right now, and I've already made a video on it, and I clickbait the hell out of it. If you haven't watched that video already, cards up here. It's amazing. Definitely check this out. Literally the only bad part is that all the spines are red. If they were multicolored, it would be so much better. Now, we're getting into top 3 territory. You know anything about me, you probably already know what these top 3 are, but the third one you actually probably won't. But I do talk about this a lot to my friends, and all of us have the same opinion. My Hero Vigilantes is my number 3. And I know you might be saying, My Hero Vigilantes is not my hero, what are you doing, Mom? Like I said, but My Hero can't be on here. It came out in 2014, not 2015 and on. Also, it wouldn't be above My Hero Vigilantes because it's better. And I'm honest about that. I think My Hero has better peaks than My Hero Vigilantes. I'm honest, and I will say that. But overall, as a series, I think Vigilantes has a beat, because there's legitimately 10 volumes of My Hero that I just don't care and I really don't like. That's literally the second half of the box that we're getting. It's volumes like 11-ish to 23, because I think 24 and on, it gets amazing. But after like the Bakugo retrieval thing, I really didn't care about My Hero. The whole overhaul arc was cool and all, but I didn't love it. The Gentle Criminal arc was horrendous, and same with the Class 1A versus Class 1B training arc. It was horrendous. I hated it. I think that a lot of that stuff is bad. And for Vigilantes, it doesn't have any real bad arcs. everything builds upon regular My Hero, and it does it very well. I like the inclusion of Eraserhead, Fat Gum, and Midnight so much. I think Eraserhead / Aizawa, whatever you want to call him, in Vigilantes shows so much of his character and why he develops into the person he is in My Hero. I think it does a lot for the actual My Hero story, and I love to see Koichi prosper and thrive. This guy with such a bad quirk is only trying to be a vigilante to save people because he wanted to be a hero in the first place, but he legitimately missed his hero exam because he was a hero. He saved someone. That just shows his character. He doesn't care about himself. He puts others before him. And I really love how Koichi does it. It's an amazing series, and I very much love seeing someone with a bad quirk as a protagonist, other than someone with the best quirk ever. And it just makes no sense. This is so much better. Just read this. Top 2. This one's easy. You probably can expect it from my most recent videos. It's Beastars. Beastars is number 2. I know. This is amazing. I love it. Beastars is great. Legoshi is an amazing protagonist. Seeing the development of Legoshi is crazy, and seeing what he's doing on the more recent volumes is very entertaining as well. Now, I hear the ending is hit or miss with people, but even if I don't like the ending, I think it keeps its spot purely because the development Legoshi has gone through, and just how well that Paru Itagaki really takes this series in different routes. It literally goes from a school slice of life to a gang violence mystery in a matter of 2 volumes, and it's crazy. It's just how they do that is just flip the switch, and it's a completely different genre, and Paru Itagaki transitions it, and it's not even, it's an amazing transition into it, and it makes complete sense. Is just crazy. I don't get how she does it. But Paru Itagaki is an amazing mangaka. I cannot wait to read Drip Drip, which is coming out later this year, and I hope Sanda gets English release so I can read Sanda and have a Paru Itagaki kind of shrine because of how much I love Beastars, and I hope I love Drip Drip and Sanda nearly as much as this, because even if I like it just a little bit, like if I like it less than Beastars but still like it a lot, that just shows how well she is at writing. She is a phenomenal writer. I can just tell from this one series. And it's just amazing to see Beastars thrive. And now I do know the next season is the final season, I believe, which I hope it's 2 core. I didn't finish season 2 because I read it, and I think the first couple episodes compared to the manga were just terrible. I think season 1 was an amazing adaptation of what they adapted, but I think season 2 kind of took it off the rails in the first episode a little bit and kind of spoiled some stuff for later on, and I don't really like how they did it, but otherwise, Beastars amazing. I would definitely pick this up if I were you. If you haven't already, of course. But the spines are amazing. I love Beastars. Highly recommend it. Now, for my number 1. As the thumbnail may suggest, and also as the anime might be popping off, Awashi. I've been hyping up Awashi for a couple months now, and I'll be real honest. It's phenomenal. I wait every week for a chapter, but of course, the scannulators don't translate Awashi like ever. They do it like once a month, and I get 4 chapters in like 3 days, and they've been doing that, and I hate it. But binging this series just really showed me how much I actually really like soccer. I know or football for some people. I already am a fan. I love soccer / football. I love it. I watch it every week. I watch Premier League, and I try my best to watch the Bundesliga because I'm a Dortmund fan, but it's hard because I'm at work most of the times, but that's off topic. Awashi, phenomenal read. Probably the best soccer manga I've read in terms of actual soccer elements. It has a lot of real soccer stuff in here. A lot of real training, and it brings up a lot of real teams and players and how they play, and it's very interesting to see how they incorporate it in the series. I love Aoi Ashito as the main character. This man is an amazing, phenomenal main character. There's a little bit of a twist in there. There's a really huge kind of plot change, and I really like it. It's really amazing. Love Awashi. If you have yet to read this already, 10 out of 10. My breath was taken away when I caught up. This thing was so good. Very realistic, too. There's only one part that isn't realistic too much, but everything else is super realistic. Everything can happen in a real game. And I'm going to say this right now. I highly suggest Awashi. It's amazing, and I love it so much. Now, that was all for my top 10 new Gen Manga. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I don't know if I'm going to make any more top 10s for a while. I just want to make this video to show you guys some manga that I've been enjoying recently, that came out recently. because I don't really talk about that too much. I really just make reviews and make manga hauls and stuff like that, so I don't really get to talk about the whole grand scheme of things. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope I see you guys next time. Peace!